It was definitely challenging coming in day one, being a new owner, especially as younger guys.
We have two guys that bet on us, and
We got to figure something out.
We got to figure something out
Yeah.
because we got to get them at the very least their money back.
In this episode, Mike and Matt share what happened after day one of ownership, the struggles, the breakthrough, and how they scaled fast.
It was just stagnant for like a year. We're coming on these calls every Friday, and they're basically telling us like, I have to do more. Have to do more over and over and over again.
Sell.
Literally every single
It's
month.
all comes down to sales.
Report card every Friday.
Yeah, but it held us accountable. It's definitely a lot different. Now, we went from $100,000 a month. Now we're about to crack $500,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
So let's talk about you walk in day one. Because, I mean, we could have a 10-hour podcast on the whole
Absolutely.
process.
Yeah,
There's so much to unpack, and we'll do some more. But you come in on day one, and, hey, I'm the owner.
Yeah.
What is day one through the next 12 months look and feel like?
I guess I'll go ahead and start on that question first. So it's definitely weird coming from, no point of leadership ever in my life. I mean, I was like, you have seniority when you play on baseball teams, and stuff like I had in my past, but it's not like leading an actual company. So it's really weird coming in. They're used to doing things a certain way. They're used to dealing with a certain personality and the way that she did things for 30 years. So, it's really odd trying to figure out a good balance of like, hey, we're the new guys. We actually own this place now. We're the new owners, and this is the way we need to do things. But we're also, cognizant of this is how y'all have done stuff in the past. So it's a little difficult and challenging trying to find a good mixture of not rubbing them the wrong way and them feeling like, who are these new guys coming in here trying to change stuff up? This is how we're used to doing it. It was definitely challenging coming in day one, being a new owner, especially as younger guys. And everybody that works for us is older than us. Like, we're the youngest people in the building. It's really weird.
Sure.
I'm not going to lie.
That's okay. You got the pen and the checkbook, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But it really was kind of like, we kind of had like a 60-day plan on coming in and just cleaning it up, not thinking about growing it or sales, because it was a lot of things we had to change, tech and getting organized and everything. And the previous owner had her own way of doing things, and it was kind of all in her head. It was just so many business owners. We had to kind of extract it all, get it on paper, and then figure it all out.
Yep.
So now you say we're 60, 90 days in, and now you guys are trying to grow the business.
Yep.
Let's go from there, and then we'll talk about some of the hurdles we hit, and then how we made the jump.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mike, if you want to touch on like different strategies we tried to implement or wanted to implement there local.
Yeah, so we obviously Matt touched on the hurdles coming in, like just dealing with the employees getting on board with us and all that good stuff. But really what we were doing, those first several months or so, we were really like digging into their CRM data that they had to see like what kind of patterns can we see, like, because we knew they were doing a service type thing, and they were also doing a wholesaling type deal. So we were trying to figure out like what's our path going to be, what do we need to do to grow this business, where's the opportunity, and so we were essentially pulling a ton of data.
I remember.
Of data. Like, it was just sitting in front of a computer all day long and night, just crunching numbers, trying to figure out like what can we do with this data, where can we go with it. And we had tried locally to Matt did a lot of this. He spent the better part of 3 or 4 months every day just grinding, hitting potential customers, shaking hands and taking gifts and trying to just get the business to grow that way. And we were like, we weren't getting anything.
Nothing.
We might have gotten. Looking back, I think it was a blessing that happened, and we had struck out essentially.
Kept us hunting.
Because in our minds, me and Matt are sitting there scratching our heads, going, we have two guys that bet on us, and
We got to figure something out.
we got to figure something out
because
we got to get them at the very least their money back.
Yep.
And we were just, it's not that the business was going downhill.
No, it
No, it was
maintained.
just-
It was
it was just-
extremely steady.
Yeah, and still to this day,
Surprisingly.
it's very steady.
Yeah.
But we wanted to grow, and you guys weren't going to be okay just maintaining
Yeah,
it.
no,
No.
definitely not.
So
It
that's
was never
like
the
it's
plan.
not like hell.
Well, y'all
we're
took
gonna
a
lose
y'all took
money.
a pay cut to go
We did.
take
Yeah,
on
we
this
did.
job.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah,
Didn't do that,
A,
right.
a salary was structured, but it was a massive pay cut from what y'all were used
Both
to.
of us,
so
yeah.
yeah,
That's important. No, you can't go from 120 and then try to go make 120.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you got to go in there and I got to make
There's a
a $500,000,
sacrifice.
right? Like, and if
Yeah.
I come up short, maybe I make 300.
Exactly.
Like that's because it's a lot of sacrifice and effort.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are now taking less money,
Mhm.
and you're trying some different things. And we had some momentum, but nothing like we thought we
Exactly.
wanted.
Yeah.
But you also were very hard on yourselves. It was
Which
this
was
is a really short
awesome
period of time.
because that I believe that critical judgment kept y'all very, very, very
This-
motivated.
yeah, this
like
isn't
it does the rest of
2 or
us.
3 years of flatline. It's like 6 months, 4
Yeah.
months.
Yeah,
But because you guys are so ambitious and everything, I know we have a group chat going, they're going in it all the time, but I know you guys are doing your own thing and you're just like thinking the wheels are turning.
Constantly.
So we won't totally give the special sauce
Yeah.
away of what we're doing because we are in massive growth mode now.
Massive. Yeah.
But we saw something, a revenue stream, you guys saw a revenue stream within our business. And like, we were already trying to focus on that, but we kind of pulled something from maybe something I've already done.
Yep.
And then you guys implemented. Ideas and everything are a dime a dozen.
Right.
But you guys, you saw some, I mean, we could say it and people aren't going to do it, but how did it grow so fast? What do you think the key things are? Once we saw this works, how do we 10x it? Because literally we've 10x this at this point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's definitely 10x to this point. And I think, as Mike alluded to, we were constantly thinking of different strategies and ways that we could implement new value add or whatever it was in the business, and we tried wholesaling glass. We thought that was going to take us to
Spent
the
a lot of money.
motherland. We spent
$100,000.
$100,000 buying bulk glass out of China, and it just didn't go anywhere. So, that kind of failed. And then we're still sitting there thinking, like, what do we do? So basically, I guess without spilling too much sauce, we thought, well, what's a need in the industry? And this could really apply for any industry. What is a real need in the industry that we could either provide a better service, a better price, or both, whatever it may be. And for us, we were able to find a need like that in the commercial space of our industry. And we quickly realized that the goal that the four of us had for our business, it was just never going to happen in Macon, where we're physically
Right.
located.
Yeah.
So
No.
whether that's we expand in the state of Georgia via acquisitions,
Mhm.
whether that's
Mhm.
expand our services in the state of Georgia or in the Southeast, whatever it was, we knew that was going to get us to, really 10x.
I feel like we tried, y'all. I mean, when I say we, y'all were doing all this work and y'all were putting some major effort in.
We
and
all were a lot of the visionary behind it. So
But we tried 4 different thought processes on what would grow, and then finally something stuck. And I think that's a key takeaway for anyone listening. Like, the first idea typically is not going to be the idea that takes you to a multi-million-dollar exit.
Yeah.
You got to do it, put some effort behind it, and then pivot. Do it, put some effort behind it, and then pivot until you start seeing something catch fire. Like, if you're starting a fire, you're going to see the smoke start. If you never sit and see smoke, but you're still sitting there rubbing that rock and stick together, you're going to have to figure out something else to ignite the fire. And when we saw that, I believe it was timing hit the preparation with you guys, and we were able to see. But then y'all locked in like a dog on its
bone, yeah.
kill,
Yeah.
man. I mean, y'all didn't let go, and then you just kept hitting. I remember every single phone call we had in group chat. It was, where are we out on this? We're doing this. How do we increase more of this outreach to get more of these results?
Yep.
And it's still snowballing.
Yeah, to
And
this day.
even the last call we had, what came across was, we need to act like this is going to die out very soon. So how do we add even more effort to it while it's still hot?
exactly.
And that attitude, I think, is the reason, once we found the vein of growth, it has grown in this hockey stick growth. I mean, 10x in less than,
We're less than 2 years.
Yeah, January will be 2 years.
We're
insane.
technically less than from the time we started soliciting ourselves to our now customers, we started doing that in
October.
It was October of last year, so
24.
we
Yeah.
haven't even hit a
2024.
year
Yeah.
of.
And honestly, I sit there and look at the vein and I see the growth, because the growth didn't happen until we hit the certain vein of service. And then that's October to October makes a year.
Let's talk about.
Yeah.
I want you guys to tell about building out the team and delegating and creating more of you guys, which has
Yeah.
helped with the growth. But before that, one key thing I look at internally, because I want to do it more, and we're going to, after we exit this, we'll do it, is this.
Absolutely.
We have 4 of us on every call, or it's 2 guys doing it every day and talking about it. And then we do calls with all of us.
Yep.
And then we do another call with our fractional CFO,
Yep.
who's very entrepreneurial, and he's had over 100 million blue collar exits. Like, is there like 2 of those people on the planet? There's not a lot.
Right.
So that was a big thing. So by buying a business over starting, you have cash flow coming in that can pay some salaries for you guys, even though you take it going down from $100,000. We can pay a fractional CFO, so you don't have your mind on books and everything, because
Right.
you probably don't come up with these ideas, or we definitely don't go as fast without it.
No, I agree.
And then we have 4 and sometimes 5 brains on the thing.
Yep.
And I think of this as Chris has done this and I've done this. We were all alone. I had decisions to make in 2009, not enough cash flow, trouble, and you just have to go with what you do. And
By
I look
yourself.
back and I made some mistakes.
Right. Yep.
Sometimes those mistakes cost you 2 years.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate that we all together can come up with great ideas. That's the power of buying a business over starting. You have the cash flow to do it. You can hire a fractional CFO, and then getting people who have maybe more experience and more money to come in. And then you guys are doing in your genius on growing the business and everything, but you don't have to necessarily work. We had a little cash flow crunch when we bought a lot of stuff from China.
Yes, we did.
That could have been a big problem. But for Chris and I, we were like, okay, we'll throw a little cash in there. We made some money and bring it back out.
But a solo person, man, that's a lot of stress and kills the creative thinking on the owner when that kind of
Absolutely.
stress hits.
Go back to 2010 or 11. I probably spent half my day thinking about cash flow
Yeah.
and the stress, and I don't have enough, and these things. So now you're really focused on growth. So let's talk about, now we have this idea. It's humming. It's 2 of you. You're killing it. I mean, you guys are on the phone all the time and everything. Now you got to, hey, in order to get us to 500 windshields a week
Yep.
in this model, this is separate from we're talking about our national thing. How did you guys hire, and then talk about how we used virtual assistants, how you trained them, how you did all that?
Yep.
Because
You wanna
that's
touch
a
on that?
big part.
Yeah, so our first hire technically was in person, and we trained him to help us with the day-to-day stuff that we were having to do. I guess essentially what you would consider the technicians in our business. He was our first technician that we hired, and we trained him probably in about 3.5 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
He was up to speed, and after we trained him, we were pretty confident that we could train somebody virtually, just based on how we trained him. So then, I think we only had him for maybe a couple of months or so, maybe several months, before we hired 2 or 3 more people that we hired virtually.
Yep.
And we tried training with them as well virtually, and that took us about 2 weeks to get them fully up to speed as technicians within our business. And then after that round of hiring, we learned that we could get somebody actually fully up to speed in about a week.
Yep.
From doing it 3 times.
And also, the people who you trained became trainers on
That's
their
right.
own.
Yep. So
And we incentivize them.
this last round of hiring that we did, I had nothing to do with that training. The people that we had trained we had hired previously were now doing the training for the people on board. We actually got a new guy starting with us Monday in training as another
2 new
technician.
guys.
2 new guys.
Yep.
Sorry, we got a sales guy that we just hired. He's going to be starting training on Monday, and we got a technician.
Operations. Yep.
We got a technician that we hired that's starting Monday in training, but both of them are going to be up to speed in about a week. And
So the training, was that you handing over a document saying, hey, here's what it is? Explain that a little bit, because I think this is where a lot of people get caught up, and this is why they struggle with bringing people on, because y'all been very successful at it in implementing and delegating.
Yeah, I think up front it was he and I. We were doing everything. We were doing the cold calls. We were doing the selling.
Yeah.
We were in the midst of
All of it.
selling. We were answering the service calls that are coming in,
Yeah.
work orders being placed. We're setting up the service. We're communicating with our customer. We're invoicing. We're doing all of this.
We're
Me and
handling
him.
all of our payable. Like, we're doing
So
everything.
it was three or 4 months of like daily 10-hour, 12-hour days. Our customers would call us at like midnight, and I'm answering the phone, and he's setting it up first thing in the morning. So luckily we had, we had done it ourselves. I think anybody that is going to train somebody to do something, they have to do it themselves for a period of time. And
Yep.
we handed it off to the first technician, and basically on the job training, shadowing. We did not have a good system for like a training program. Now we do have a system in place for like bringing on new hires where they actually have a legitimate training period. But up front, it was just like, hey, come hang out with us and sit in the office with us and watch what we do. And after some time, you'll catch on, and it'll be easy for you to do it too. So, and I think we started with, including our local operation, we had 6 employees, and now we're up to like 22 total employees between our local operation and now this new division of our business.
With this new division, this new national thing, there was a lot of places you could have kind of rested on your laurels, because we had a number how to get to $1 million in EBITDA,
Yep.
how many windshields a week, and it seemed doable.
Mhm.
Like when we were getting things, but we were thinking maybe at the end of the year we can get there,
Mhm.
and then we just crushed through it. Like, what keeps you guys doing that? Because you got to be super ambitious, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think
And they've become almost. We thought the number, like, I stopped putting a ceiling on it. I had ceilings on it too,
Yeah.
and now I don't.
Yeah, and I think we kind of had. I don't know if we necessarily had a number in our heads that we thought would be a ceiling, but I think we started getting so much traction and growth that we didn't really see an end in sight, and we still don't see an end in sight, and we still feel like there's a very, very small percentage of the potential customers out there that we're servicing now. And I think I remember us talking about the number that we wanted to hit was 84. I think that's the number I remember us talking about, because 84
It's
essentially-
laughable now.
essentially
it is.
put
Look
us
at the net.
essentially put us at $1 million EBITDA
Yeah.
is what it was.
Well, with
And-
our current expenses we had at the time, it was 84. And
And-
once we got closer to 84, we were like,
Yeah,
wow,
we increased it before.
he
we
and
got
I
there.
are really becoming strained daily. So we got to start bringing on new team members. But now our 84 is going to go up because now we've got new expenses. And like you mentioned, luckily we've been able to far surpass that. And it seems like the number monthly just continues to grow.
And
Like
let's-
what the goal is.
Let's talk about, that's not the reason you wanted to get to 1 million EBITDA, but just so people understand, when we did this deal, Chris and I put the money up. You guys could have put some cash in it. We didn't really want you to do that. We wanted you to be focused on growth. You got
Yeah.
young families and everything. So what we did, we won't talk about all the exact things, but we had, as we grow, Chris and I lose some of our equity and you gain more. You started with some, and then it goes. And when we hit 500,000 EBITDA, it takes a jump. When it hits 1 million, we become 25, 25, 25, 25.
Yep.
And now we're crushing through that. So that was a number to do it. But I mean, we
Yeah.
thought that was going to take a lot longer.
We did, for
But
sure.
it's a win-win, because Chris and I lose equity, but we make more money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys gain equity and make more money. Everybody wins. When I wrote that, I was like, this is good for everybody, because it's hard to make a
Absolutely.
deal great for
Yeah.
everybody.
It
It's
is,
fair
yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a question I think is great for this podcast, because I never heard a podcast like this. What would you say to a 35-year-old guy? He's got a family. He's W-2. He's making some money. He doesn't like it, or maybe you liked what you were doing, but you're like, you're not going to live the life you want because of student debt or whatever. How do you make that jump?
Yeah.
How do they get borrowed belief from you? Because that can be a scary thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess I'll touch on that first. I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, going from a comfortable job, you go to school, get your degree, and go get your safe job, and you're set. You think you're set. I guess using us as borrowed belief, we're just two normal guys. Like, we don't have any special skill set, in my opinion. Again, we're just very ambitious and hungry. And I knew that, you get on the social medias, you see all the guys living it up and they're your age and you're sitting there wondering like, what the hell are these guys doing? Right? I mean, I think I'm doing pretty well,
Yeah.
but they're obviously doing better. And, I think whether it's business or real estate or a combo of both, because I know you do both, I think that's easily the path to live the life you want. And for me, it was like more so about like time. I love my kids. I love being with them, and I couldn't take the time off I needed at work or whatever. Stuff like that really motivated me to be like, I really need to control my own schedule, my daily schedule, and that's not even to be buy a business where I can be completely absentee owner, because that's never been the goal. It's just if my daughter needs me to come pick her up at 1 in the afternoon, like I can go do that. I don't have to ask somebody. So that was the real motivating factor with me, was to be able to get my time back, or at least have control of my time.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I think getting your time back is obviously, that was a huge motivating factor for me. But I always wanted to do more, and I don't even really know what more means, to be honest with you. I just knew I wanted to do more. I wanted to do what I knew others weren't willing to do, or maybe they were too scared to do. Because the way I looked at it, truthfully, was I had this degree, and if I go all in and do all this and give my best effort and it fails miserably, worst case scenario, I go back to making 110, 120K a year. And
Working for somebody.
I would probably do it again. I would try it again, because I always had, and him too, he had that cushion. He could go back to that if,
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people, they're scared to do that because they think that they're not going to have that 6-figure opportunity to go back to.
I
But
agree.
that's not the case. You do. You will have that.
There's
to go
always
back.
going to be a
You can go
job.
back, but you never do.
Yeah.
Even if your
Yeah.
business doesn't fail, something else will come
That's
as long
right.
as you're pushing forward. But I always understand. I always say you can always go back and make 82 grand again. Like, what
Exactly.
do you think this is?
Yeah.
Everybody needs people like
Exactly.
that. Why not go for it?
Yeah.
What did I want to, because this, I believe, was such a very key reason behind we found the path to success and then drove the path of success as hard as it's driving right now. What did it feel like when y'all hopped on Friday morning meetings with the fractional CFO, and we're all sitting on these Zoom meetings, and they're talking about the numbers and all questions are
crazy.
being pointed towards y'all?
I'll let
yeah.
Matt talk about that, because we always felt like just the biggest pieces of shit. After
Yeah,
those
we did. I mean, for the first year, we're all going into this and we have all these plans we're trying to implement,
Yeah.
to like grow this thing. Like we need to grow this business, and it was just stagnant for like a year. We're
Yeah.
coming on these calls every Friday, and they're basically telling us like, y'all have to do more, y'all have to do more,
Yeah.
have to do more, over and over and over again.
sell.
Literally
sell.
every single
It's all,
month.
it all comes down to sales,
Report
guys.
card every Friday.
Yeah, but it held us accountable, and honestly, I think that does attribute a little bit to like, not only the fact that we felt like we owed you guys something for taking a chance on us, constantly hearing in our ear every single Friday, like, guys, what's going on? Like, y'all are not growing this business at all.
And it really wasn't us. I mean,
no.
it was our fractional
Yeah,
CFO. As
he's-
the
yeah,
CFO,
yeah.
he's
You're
like,
like-
hey, what are y'all doing to change this? We got to get this thing to grow. And so we're like, yeah.
We're trying, we're doing everything we can here locally. I'm out in the community shaking hands, like he had mentioned earlier, trying to generate new business. We hired different SEO companies. We're trying to generate more business online and get more people to see us. And it's crazy. Now the calls are a lot different.
Mhm.
They're much different.
It's-
I mean, we go from
Y'all are heroes.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it that way, but it's definitely a lot different.
Yeah.
Now, we went from $100,000 a month. Now we're
Yeah.
about to crack
Yeah.
$500,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more laughing on those calls now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Beforehand,
great.
it was like you could hear a damn.
And it was
pin.
such a short period of time, but it's just when you get around people who are used to things going hockey stick,
Yep.
Yeah.
that like they don't want to hear about anything else.
Well, I used to tell him all the time. I was like, I guarantee you, we are his smallest client.
Oh,
He
yeah.
probably feels
Yeah.
like it's such a waste of his hour to get on these calls with us and
He probably did truly feel that.
tell
way.
us over and over again.
But now he sits there and talks about how we're one of the most impressive clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of what's happening. And the reason I wanted to go over that is because, man, when you're in that, like y'all have some thick skin. Y'all have some grit to go through those Friday calls like that every week and not have said, you know what, man,
Yeah.
I don't think this was the right move. Let's go back. We'll put a pay plan, pay Chris and Kevin back.
Yeah.
Like that was an option. Really,
Absolutely.
it was. Y'all
Yeah.
could have quit, but y'all didn't because y'all were like, hell no, I've got to make this work because my name is like, what am I going to feel like if we just
Yeah.
walk away from this?
Well, I
The
did not want to.
accountability factor is so huge because if you're a solo entrepreneur, you can go out to the bar and say, "Yeah, I'm doing 4 million top."
Yeah.
Well, you're not.
Yeah.
We all know
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
But when it's here's a report card, it's internal. We're listening to it. People want to make money. We all want to grow. We all want it to be worth our time. So that's the best thing it's pushing. That's another reason people should do it. You should be accountable for your numbers.
And transparency.
Right.
Like y'all, everybody knew exactly what was happening. I've used this illustration a lot of times. I'm like, man, the best thing that I have seen happen in the business that's got the most traction right now, which is this windshield business, I said, is the fact that we had the fractional CFO. I said, because our operating partners have to get stripped down naked financially in front of this.
Yeah.
And they're standing in front of 5 other people in this room
Yep.
and they're having to justify why they look the way they look.
Exactly.
And I was like,
Every
man,
Friday.
there is such a transparency
For a
to
long
that
time.
and motivating factor to that because and now, like you said, those calls are a lot different.
Yeah.
Things are going well and there's a total different vibe. And we still ask questions, but I also believe that things pivoted so quickly because everything was so transparent and those questions were able to be asked where most business owners don't know.
Exactly.
Because those numbers aren't as real time to them.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was just me and him doing the day-to-day and you guys weren't involved, we probably would still be where we were at a year ago. Luckily, we had you in our corner, and we brought the CFO on from day one. So I do think, I mean, that made a huge difference in keeping us motivated to do more and constantly remind us, like, this is where we're at, and this is where we need to be, and we're going to continue to give you all the motivation you need every Friday. Like you said, we're in there, and he's telling us nothing's changed. Nothing's changed for months.
Yeah.
You guys saw an opportunity, and it's timing. There's an opportunity there that you guys saw, and then you exploited it. I think in business, there's almost every business. I saw one in a couple businesses I had and exploited it. I'm sure I missed others.
There's
When I was younger, they were right there. I just
Yeah.
didn't see it. You have to be looking, and when you're focused on stressful stuff, it's hard to like see the light of like what's opportunity. But you guys, because your ambition, because you wanted to make sure this worked. I mean, this is a super short period of time. You were just like looking and talking and everything. I'm sure you're going back and forth.
Yep.
If it's just one guy, maybe like, I'll just go home, man. I need a
It's-
day off. I need some beers or
Yeah.
whatever. And a lot of guys get caught up in that thing, and they
Mhm.
make money, but they never have that massive growth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Looking back over the last year and a half, what would you say to yourself or to anyone else? And we'll try to end it after this. 3 to 5 takeaways, like must-haves. These are really key, pivotal things that are needed for a business to do well.
You want to touch on that first?
3 to 5. So 3 to 5 things that you feel like are needed to. Like,
Yeah, things
drive-
you've seen that's allowed you to get to the point that you're at now in this business.
I think the first one is help. Obviously, like we've been touching on for the past 10 minutes, as far as having somebody involved to keep you on track with your financials, but also have helping hands as far as helping you to stay focused or maybe give you different ideas, like how you guys were
Overcome
with us.
obstacles.
Like helping us overcome obstacles and to some degree being cheerleaders for us. Because even when we felt like we were doing like dog shit work, you guys were not making us feel that way at all. So help, obviously, I do think had we not had the team from day one, I don't think we would be doing what we would be doing now at all.
I agree.
The second thing I think is persistence. I think you have to be persistent as shit. Matt is very persistent, and as soon as we realized there was an opportunity, I mean, he was literally like a shark in the water. Like he just went all in after them. And I mean, it just took one. It took one customer.
Yeah, I remember it.
To give him any
Yeah.
kind of any mind at all that they were interested.
And what's crazy, that was a Facebook inquiry as well, right?
It was,
Yeah.
It was. Well,
You-
that was
you
the
found
first.
the business on Facebook, and then the first one was a Facebook inquiry that made you think,
He saw a Facebook
about this?
post.
But
Yeah.
what was really funny about that was the first big customer, national customer, that showed interest in what we were at the time saying we could offer.
yeah, right.
We weren't really offering
Yeah.
it, but we
Yeah.
we said we
Not on
were.
that
Yeah.
level, no way.
And but by the time we actually met, so we actually got on a plane and flew to meet that customer.
Yeah.
Like what, 3 or 4 months after he had expressed interest,
Mhm.
maybe longer. And by the time we went to meet him, we had actually already started
Yeah.
doing business with like 10 or 15 others, like big players in the industry. That when we had that meeting with that big customer, they were actually now like our 4th or 5th smallest customer.
Wow.
And they felt little
Yeah.
in our meeting
Yeah.
that we had with them. And so persistence, I think that is very important. And I think a big one also is just believing in yourself, believing in the team around you, believing that it's going to work, and not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's essentially, like you said earlier, we could have, after getting all those calls on Friday where we just felt completely stripped down and felt like we were not worth anything, that never crossed our minds at all, because we literally just told ourselves, like, if we can at the very least get them a return on their investment, we don't make a damn thing off this deal, we at least know they would be willing to invest with us more.
Yeah.
Even if we don't make a cent off it, even if we lose money, or maybe we just lose our time. But I think those, to me, are the big 3 things that allowed us to ultimately be where we're at today. I don't know
Yeah.
if any of those changed
No,
for you.
yeah.
Or
I was going to say too, my number one takeaway would be for sure to have a mentor to
Yeah.
help you in the process, whether that's from the idea of buying a business, you have somebody in your corner that can help you, like ask the right questions to the seller or a bank or whoever it is, and then have a mentor on your team, whether that's, a mentor kind of like you guys as business partners, or whether you don't have business partners and it's just a CFO, like have somebody in your corner that can help you be accountable. But with that being said, I don't think that would be beneficial for somebody that has no interest in like really growing a big business. I mean, if you're someone who is very content with a comfortable living, don't even waste your time, because like they're going to hold you accountable and you're going to be spending this money or having these types of calls with these people, and they're trying to get you motivated to do these things. But if you have no interest in it, then it would just be a waste of everybody's time. And then the second one would be, like Mike said, the persistence, sticking with it. This is not easy. Doing anything business related is not easy, regardless of what level you were at. I mean, it was literally just last week where we were a very small business. And I still, to this day, my mindset is we're still a small business.
Yeah.
So we need to continue to grow. I don't think we'll ever stop feeling that way. I don't think I'll ever stop hunting these customers down and staying on their ass until they say yes. And again, but not everybody's that way. So I think those would be my 2 biggest takeaways.
It's good.
Yep.
Awesome. And tonight we're doing a party for my exit
Yeah,
dinner,
yeah.
and it was so important for
gonna
me
be
to
fun.
have you guys, all my partners here, because
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be at your exit party, and we'll all be part of that,
Yep.
and we'll do
Yep.
another one. Like it's gonna happen.
It's a lot
just
of
a matter
fun.
time.
It's a lot of fun.
You have to see it, you have to believe it, and you have to. When you watch other people do, you're like, well, he did, I can do this,
That's right.
and we got each other back. I think it's super important.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited about celebrating you tonight. It's going to be a good
absolutely.
time. Gonna be a
Yeah,
good
we
time.
got some fun surprises in stores.
Yeah, we do. We
Blue-
definitely do.
I
Blue
can't
Collar
wait.
Millionaires, man. Appreciate y'all coming on. If y'all want to find more on how to get in touch with us, bluecollarmillionaire.net. Mike and Matt, our operating partners in the Windshield business, rock stars. Go follow them. And we want to hear about your success as well. This is why we do this podcast. So take the information, implement it, and then you'll find yourself in the same seats.